Okay, welcome back. We're looking at subsection 2.7, talking about managing space. We're looking at the diagram there on the right, figure 2.12. This is what we're looking at timed interval as far as following distance is concerned. You need to know this formula for your test. Space ahead is very important. We go over why the need for space ahead and how much space do you need. So you can see that over to the side there. A 40-foot truck under 40 miles per hour is 4 seconds. Easy enough. A 50-foot truck above 40 miles per hour is 6 seconds, excuse me. And you can see that because the formula says above 40 miles per hour, use the same formula, but add 1 second for each for the additional speed, so every 10 miles per hour. So, the last one, we take it back under 40 miles per hour, but a 60-foot truck, and that takes us up to 6 seconds. However, if it's above 40 miles per hour, you need to add 2 more seconds. So above 40 miles per hour and a 60-foot truck, you would say 8 seconds, all right? So you need to know that formula for the test. Moving on, we're looking at, the space behind, some things people forget about. So we're looking at space behind. Always need to know what's going on behind you. This is very, very important. The most important thing here is what we're talking about, dealing with tailgaters. If you have a tailgater, these are some of the things that you need to not do, and the one thing that you are supposed to do. Increase your following distance, and that's opening up room in front of you, and that will help you avoid having to make a sudden speed or direction change. The reason we do that is it makes it easier for the tailgater to get around you, and takes you out of harm's way of what might be in front of you since you're worried about the tailgater behind you. Okay, so then space to the sides. And again, you'll be asked questions about where you should drive in the lane of traffic when you're traveling. Traveling next to others, you don't want to do that. Let people get around you or get around people as quick as you can. Another one people forget about is space overhead. These trucks are a certain height. You need to know where you can go and always make sure that you're aware of trees, overpasses, and things like that might be hanging so as to not cause damage or a safety issue for somebody else falling off your truck. Space below, another thing that people forget about. Biggest part about that is with low-slung vehicles, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into combination vehicles. So dirt roads and unpaved roads are often a problem. Don't get hung up. Drainage channels and railroad tracks are always an issue as well. Always leave yourself space for turns. So as you can see from the diagram over here, it talks about right turns, okay? So we have a jug handle turn and we have a button hook turn. The jug handle is incorrect because if the truck comes up here and around this way, it drags the trailer over here and leaves a space where somebody can get in between you. A button hook is the correct way to do it because as your tractor comes around, your trailer would track right along the curb behind you and doesn't allow room for anybody to get in between you and the curb. Very important. Left turns. Always, always, always in a big truck. You're going to start in the farthest right left-hand turn lane, as you can see right here. You have 2 left turn lanes available to you. This one here is the one you choose every time, and you always turn into the corresponding lane that you're turning into. This traffic goes here. You and your traffic go to the outside lane. That's the way it has to be. Okay. So, again, make yourself familiar with all that stuff. There could very well be some questions of that. Importance of seeing hazards. Again, Make yourself familiar with this stuff, even though it's not highlighted. Importance of seeing hazards. What is a hazard? Anything that's in front of you. Anything that's beside you, you have to be aware of it. Driver, bicyclist, pedestrian, all this stuff. Driver in front of you could slam on his brakes or return back to the highway. That's a hazard. So these are all things you need to know about when seeing hazards. So seeing hazards lets you be prepared, of course. So the faster you can see them, the more prepared that you will be. Hazardous roads are another one of those things that it doesn't have to be another car or another person. It can just be hazardous roads. Anything, drop-offs during construction, work zones it has here, foreign objects, be aware of anything that's pieces of tire that would blown off another truck, something that falls out of the back of somebody's car or truck, anything like that. Off-ramps and on-ramps, be very familiar with this. Here's a good, a lot of examples where drivers who are and can be hazards. So you always have to be aware of somebody who just went to the the big box store, the Menards, the Lowe's, something like that, and they pick something up, right? And they don't know how to haul it very well, so they can't see behind them. That's a hazard. But you've also got weather that causes the same thing. Vehicles that are frosted, snow-covered, things like that. Delivery trucks can present a hazard. You never know when when a delivery truck is going to pull off the side of the road. Parked vehicles, so on and so forth. All of this stuff down through here. Read through it. Familiarize yourself with it. Confused drivers. Learn to spot confused drivers. That's very important. You need to be able to read people's heads and the way that they're moving back and forth when they're in the car in front of you. Slow drivers. You never know what the deal could be. Could be old, they might not know where they're going. It could be farm machinery, construction, something like that. Drivers signaling, drivers in a hurry, impaired, body movement as a clue. Again, get to know what you're looking for. Part of this job includes being a little bit presumptive about what somebody in front of you might do. That will save you in the long run. Okay, that is subsection 2.7 and 2.8. Familiarize yourself with these questions, learn them, be able to answer them. And we'll move on again here in just a minute, next video, with section 2.9.